Okay. So the sun's in my eyes, but here we are. And this is my great grandfather, Abraham ben Yaakov. And we knew him as Adolph Reigenstreich. And he's my great grandfather, the father of my grandma Fanny and my dad's grandfather. And I just was going to talk to you and tell you about your family. I guess after you died in 1914, your children, my grandmother was one of the youngest, Grandma Fanny. She was born in 1903. She, some of them left New York, and they went to California to seek their fame in something called films, which I don't know if you had that. My grandmother, I'll talk to you about my grandmother. There were you had 8 children, and I just met your other great-granddaughter, Lucy, who her last name was Lucy Rollins, and she was your oldest daughter, Rachel's granddaughter. And anyway, Rachel had a son named Jack, and she was her daughter. And Jack had children and had 4 children, and Rachel's so those were Rachel's grandchildren. Anyway, not some of my daughters. I got to tell you about my life. Your daughter Fanny had 2 sons. She married a Jewish man named Max. His name was actually something like, when he came from Russia, Moishi or something like that. I can't remember. And they were a fairly religious family, and Grandma had a Jewish wedding under a kippah and is that Chuppah? Yeah, and anyway, they had 2 sons, and Uncle Bobby passed away this year about a year and a half ago, in 2013. But Arthur's still alive, and he was born in 1929, and he's my dad. And anyway, Arthur had 3 children, and I'm the oldest, and my 3 children have been, their Judaism is very important to them, and my son actually was bar mitzvah here in New York with my partner in Torah, Dina, who's filming this right now. They had a really nice bar mitzvah for him, and all 3 kids have gone to Jewish camp at Dina's urging, and my daughter Rebecca was a counselor at that camp this summer, and my daughter Annabelle has gone to that camp for 6 years, and she has Jewish friends all over the country, and has been just so excited about her Jewish heritage, and I think all 3 kids are going to be blown away when they see this. And anyway, some of your other grandchildren and great-grandchildren are also, are Jewish, and my daughter Annabelle, by the way, is in charge of a teenage chapter of young Jewish kids in Colorado now. We're going to actually see your granddaughter Marilyn and her son, which is your great-grandson Harold, in January, and that's going to be really exciting. Apparently my dad's in touch with your son David's daughter Martha, and hopefully we'll get a hold of her. And I'm just so amazed that I'm actually talking to you. And is there anything else I need to say, Dina?
I ask him to pray to God on your behalf and your children's behalf.
Pray for
anything in particular you want to ask him to pray for?
I would pray that my children will continue to want to follow God, and teach their past, as Dina's taught me, that it's passing the heritage down that's so important. And I know it was hard for your children after you died, because some of them weren't religious, and some some of them, married outside of the faith, but some of your children are, it was just so important that they knew who they were. And, my uncle Bobby, which was your grandson Robert Schneider, he said that you changed your name from Abraham Jacob to Adolph Levine or Levi, to Adolph Reigenstreich to protect your family. I'd like to know about your wife, both of your wives, the one that died, Golda, that was Lucy's grandmother, and Lucy's great-grandmother, and then also my great-grandmother, Esther, who, she died of tuberculosis shortly after you. I'd like to know where we can find her and pray that a miracle happens. I saw your pictures and you look like such a handsome man. I'm not that much older than you were than when you died, even 59 now. So I feel like you died so young, and I wish you'd got to know my dad. He's just an amazing man. Pray for him. He's searching, trying to figure out who he is. He's dealing with a lot of anti-Semitism from his past, which I'm sure you're familiar with. And but he seems to have a real hunger to learn about the Torah. And now that he's 86 years old, and so especially pray for your grandson Arthur.
Let's say a chapter of Psalms.
Is it still working?
Yeah, it still is.
Oh. Okay.
And it's just we're praying to God, and He'll bring the prayer up very close, very high up. Share Hamalos. Eilecha nasasi es einai hayashvi v'shamayim. Eineicha einei avadem ayir Adonaihem keinei shivcha al yad gedirta. Kein einenu el Adonai Eloheinu ad sheyechanenu. Chanenu Adonai chanenu ki rav savan avuz. Ravas sav'al la nafshena halag asherim habuzlik el yonim.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Dina. Well, I'll just get a quick... this is Dina that did the filming. She's in the sun, but anyway. Here, well, this is Dina. Thank you so much, and it means so much that Dina came with me. And I'll take one more film of the whole area, too.